time in history, U.S. stock has reached the $1 trillion mark thanks to a strong week for shares of Apple. In this morning's U.S. Bank Economic 360, U.S. Bank's Senior Vice President Mike Denneman joins us to discuss what this milestone means for the stock and for the market. Mike is with Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in the studio. Gentlemen.
Thanks, Peg. Mike, thanks for being here as always.
Good morning.
Now, she got the zeros right. $1 trillion. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, just an absolutely huge number. And so that's for one stock. So just to put that in perspective, there's a lot of huge companies in the U.S. If you took the 6th largest banking stocks combined, are worth 1.3 trillion. Wow. And so Apple by itself, just 1 trillion. So important to point out quickly exactly what we're talking about here. This is a concept called market capitalization, which determines what a company is worth in the stock market. So simple equation, you just take the number of shares of stock outstanding and you multiply it by the price of those shares. So shares times price is your market cap. And obviously, to get to a number as big as $1 trillion, for that math to work, you need a huge company with a lot of shares and also a huge share price. Yeah. And that's a combination that Apple has both of. And so as of Thursday morning, as Peg said, the first to $1 trillion.
So does that make Apple the largest company in U.S. history?
It does, yes. Again, by market capitalization. And it's actually a spot that they've held off and on for quite a while here now. But of course, you know, natural for us to assume that it would be a tech company would be the biggest company in the U.S., but it hasn't always been that way. You look back 50, 60 years, you'll find industrial companies. General Motors was once the biggest company.
You got to go the auto.
Yeah, U.S. Steel. It wasn't until the 80s, in fact, that we saw a tech company, IBM, was the largest at that time. And then, of course, with the tech bubble in the 90s, days, right? Yes, it exploded. There was actually talk, as the bubble was reaching its peak, that Microsoft might be the first to $1 trillion. But as we know now, it ultimately did not get there. And here we are 20 years on, and it is a tech company that's first to $1 trillion, although that wasn't a given either. Just 4 or 5 years ago, ExxonMobil was the largest in the U.S. for a period of time. But you know, the last few years have really been oriented around tech, so it has been a horse race here recently between the tech giants to see which would be the first to get to the trillion.
And Apple was the winner.
Apple was the winner, and they were pretty much the odds-on favorite, but that wasn't a given either. You know, the so-called FANG stocks have got a lot of attention the last few years. Amazon was right there neck and neck to get to $1 trillion. Facebook, Google also in the mix, although as an aside, Facebook, any chance they had to get there realistically evaporated a couple weeks ago. They had a milestone of a different variety when they stumbled and the stock lost more than $1 billion of market cap in a single day. So that's a record for the largest one-day loss and pretty much took them out of the mix. But it was Apple who had a big surge last week. They needed to get to $207 and change per share to get it to $1 trillion. They hit that Thursday morning. And
so obviously it's not a fixed number. I mean, something happens bad to Apple, that stock
goes
drops,
right back down.
that trillion's gone.
And you know, something good happens for Amazon and the stock skyrockets, they could clearly leapfrog them. But Apple got there first.
Well, one thing we can count on when it happens, whatever that changes, you're going to let us know, right?
I'll keep you posted.
All right.